Alright, so how's it going, everybody? I wanted to make a video, kind of tutorial guide thing like some of the other videos I've made before, explaining offshore fishing, more so in Florida because that's all I've really done it, and specifically more trolling offshore. There's a variety of different fish that you can catch offshore, just offshore here in Florida, and all up and down. I wanted to show everybody kind of the basics more so if someone's just getting into it and looking for something, because I know probably I would say more so offshore fishing for someone that's trying to figure everything out and find like what kind of tackle, lures and stuff. You could probably ask 15 different people and get 15 different opinions on tackle, lures and whatnot. Like when I started getting into fishing, my dad and I just went around talking to people, boat shows and like tackle shops and everything, and this lure, I got like buckets and tackle boxes full of lures and stuff. So I'm going to show a few lures that my friends use, friends of mine have told me to use, and I've caught fish on them, so I know they work. And I'm going to go through some of the tackle, and then hopefully the ocean chills out. Hopefully I can get out in the boat because I wanted to show how to do kind of like the spread of how setting up all the lines and whatnot. I mean, I watched like TV shows and everything, and everyone's like, oh, you need outriggers and all this stuff, and you don't. You just gotta get some baits in the water. Like normally I fish 3 or 4 lines. Like I mean, if you want to put all this stuff in the water, I guess the more stuff in the water, the better chance for a bite, but I don't know if that actually matters at all. No one actually can talk to the fish to see, but personally I like running 3 or 4 lines, or there's a couple people, maybe 5 boat I'm on has outriggers. Go for it, you know? So yeah, I'm going to show the gear, which is like tackle, rods, reels, lures, how to rig it, how to set up all the rods. I'm going to show, I have a video I'm going to put in from a previous video of how to rig ballyhoo, which is pretty important. And I mean, you can buy it, but I prefer to do all my own rigging and stuff, and it's nice catching a fish on something that you spend some time on rigging. And I'm going to kind of show the area, which pretty sure would apply for most places where trolling would be, like different islands and stuff. It's going to be very similar. Yeah, kind of like what you wanted to look for and everything. And then, like I said, hopefully I can get on the boat next couple of days and show you how to set up the spread and everything. So let's get into the tackle. Also, I'm going to put a little screen with each, I'm going to divide it up into sections, so hopefully it works out right, and you can click on whatever part of the video tab that shows which part you're interested in, and you can just skip right to that part. Alright, so now I'm going to show you some of the rods and reels you can use for offshore trolling. Alright, so rods and reels. Also, hopefully, I hope my aquarium in the background isn't making really loud buzzing noise, but rods and reels. First, before I say anything and show you everything, use whatever you own or already have or access to. Just go out and try whatever you can. So primarily, for offshore trolling, you're going to be wanting to use conventional style reels, and I pretty much primarily use lever drag style reels, which all lever drag is, well, there's a lever and that controls your drag. A lot of other, sometimes reels have what's called star drag, and like right here it's a little, looks pretty much like a star. Yeah, that works fine too. It's just a little harder to deal with because you have to put the drag on really loose, and then once you get a bite you have to tighten it up this way. With lever drag, pretty much all you do is put it wherever you want, you feel is the good bite drag kinda, and you just leave it. And if you want more, you just push it up a little more. And then there's called strike drag, which this one goes to number 8, and almost all reels have some sort of release thing that you push in and then push up and you get into full drag. That's what I like using. The lever drag, it makes it a lot more convenient, but if you have reels that aren't, that works fine also. So, size reels Well, the one I just showed is probably way too overkill, and this one is, which hopefully that's in focus, but Technos 50 wide. Fantastic reel. I love these reels. I've had these reels for probably, well, it's 2017. This I primarily use for sword fishing. So I started sword fishing in 2006. So almost, what, 11 years, 10 years, around that. Probably like 9 years, I guess. Anywhere around that range, I've had them. Had them a long time. I don't do any kind of service or anything to them. I just rinse them off after using them. And after that amount of time, they work brand new, perfect. I love them, super smooth. Also, but yeah, the 50 wide, probably kind of big for the trolling. I mean, if you're going out planning, I mean, I guess people can catch marlin and stuff around here. If you're going out strictly targeting that, then definitely go for it. Probably more so, but even though I would say this would be kind of overkill also too, but International 30 wide, I think this holds like 900 yards of 30-pound test. I think I put 40 or 50 usually on there, but great reel. Had these for forever, as you can tell, a little bit corrosion on them. Works great. I got 2-speed, 1-speed also. Trolling, it depends on you if you think the 2-speed matters or not. If you get a bigger fish digging down, then you can just pop it in 1-speed and pull them up a little bit easier. All up to you, personal preference, but this is probably a good size reel, the 30 size of reels. More ideally, I would say, I guess to like cover a more range of fishing, would probably be like a 20 size reel. So this is the Technos 20. This one's single speed. I would say this is probably the perfect reel for offshore trolling here, around here, this area. I'm not sure how much line holds. I know it's around 20-pound test. You can go a little bit heavier, put 30 if you want, or a little lighter if you want more. But it's a perfect size reel for around here. Also, I double this as a kite fishing setup and trolling setup. And well, I guess if you didn't have yellow line on it, you could use it as bottom fishing. So you could use it for mostly all around everything. And this will handle every damn fish you could want. I mean, I guess some big marlin, but that's really rare. But this is probably the size reel I would recommend going for. Anything around the 20 size. Plenty of line, plenty of power. I love it. This thing catches everything out there. That would cover however many rods and reels you plan on running. That's up to you. I usually usually I just do the 230s and the 120, and if I get a lure, I'll show later for, I guess, wahoo, that I've never caught a damn wahoo on these stupid lures everyone else uses. I know it works for other people, but does not work for me. Yeah, I usually put the 50 down deeper with some kind of plug that dives down deep, hoping for wahoos. Yeah, other than that, if you'd want to, usually I'd more so say if when you're running offshore for reed lines and whatnot, you're looking for dolphins. So definitely bring some type of spinning reel, smaller reel that you can cast. This is like 4,000 Stratic. That'd be perfect size. Most dolphin you're gonna find out there, this would handle and be a pretty good fight on it. But if you're seeing some like bigger bull dolphin or even cow dolphin are out there, or there's some blackfins or whatnot jumping around, you cast to them. Might want to go a little bit bigger. This is my 8,000 Stella, and this reel is badass. Caught a bunch of different kinds of fish with it, handles everything. A little bit bigger, more power, some more line. I got Power Pro on both of them, so line capacity is no big deal with that. But definitely you're going to want a couple spinning reels just in case you have to cast out. You come up on a weed line or find some floating board or tree or whatever. Yeah, anything you'd want to cast to, definitely bring a spinner. I've been caught before without a spinning reel, and kind of sucks, but you'll make it work. And yeah, as far as rods go, you kind of want to match it up. So one thing I always get asked a bunch are what kind of rods I use, and so far all the ones that are gold, which should be, oh, my finger's not where it is on the camera. This one and the last two here are Chaos rods, which I bought years and years ago. I haven't bought a Chaos rod in recent years. I believe they still are in business, but I think they moved down south towards Pompano. But they used to make great rods. I couldn't say anything about their new stuff because I haven't used it. But love all their old rods, great rods. And then I started building rods myself. This one's a random rod. I don't know what the hell that one is. But these two I built myself right here. I think that's way more fun and definitely catching something on a rod I'd say pretty common thing. This one has all roller guides on it, and that's totally not necessary. If anything, I would say get the tip. All these have, the tips are roller guides, and I'd say that's definitely the most important. You can also do the first guide, or the last, however you look at it, the bottommost guide. You could do that, a roller guide also. For the most part, if you put regular guides, eye guides on the rods, that's perfectly fine, and that also will save some money in the rods, if you're getting them custom or whatnot. So I'm gonna want to match well, you can kind of see the difference. There's gonna be like butt styles, I guess it would be called. These, this one and this one, you can actually screw apart here. You can detach the rod, and then the reel and the butt come off together. That's really nice. You can also get curved butts, which that's more for like stand-up tackle probably on the 50 wides. I wouldn't think you would need it at all on the 30s, but if you'd want that, it looks nicer, actually. And it's kind of nice having the rod come straight out of the rod holder with that angle on it. But yeah, these probably are what you're gonna want, like shorter butts. This one's a longer butt. I have no idea why I have it. That's kind of like if you're in a fighting chair, but mostly stand-up tackle, you use a little rod belt. That's fine in a harness if you want to use that, but I'd recommend short butts for it. Yeah, same with the spinning reels. You probably would hopefully want them to match the reel size and line size that you're using. So that should cover the rod. So I laid out some lures here. Yeah, these are basically all the lures I use trolling, which I have a nice little tackle bag, which is helpful. You get yourself one of them. And you can see I have a bunch of damn lures in here. I don't know what the hell I have these lures for. They're like damn, they're Moldcraft lures, which I'm gonna show you. I love Moldcraft lures. But these are like from Marlin and stuff. I don't know, I don't know why I have those. But yeah, every now and then I'll probably, if something's not working, not getting any bites or anything, probably switch it up and try a different lure and see what's going on with that. But here I still cannot remember what these are called. They're definitely the Yo-Zuri. This is more so like high speed kind of trolling I know a lot of people use them for. I still have not caught, mainly wahoo, but I still have not caught a wahoo or anything. I think one time I've got a bite like high speed trolling anyway, but it's probably too little long of a cable leader on it. But yeah, I always put this out. It looks good swimming in the water. Haven't caught anything. This one, I haven't really ever used it. It's not Yo-Zuri. I don't know what the hell company. I might have used it once. That's probably why it's like corroded and rusted. But once again, I've never had any luck with those for wahoo, but I will put them down. Instead of that, sometimes I switch it up. Not this one, because the one I use, I believe my friend has. I think I left it on his boat. But once again, another Yo-Zuri. I like the Yo-Zuri lures like this, but you want a bigger, this is like the biggest one I have, but doesn't have a big lip on it. If you get like, sometimes there'll be like a lot bigger lips on it that'll make it dive down. Those work pretty good. If there's like some dolphin down deep, they'll like bite in that. Caught wahoo on them. I like those just to have something deeper down in the water, because more so your other baits are going to be on the surface of the water. So you kind of want to try and cover as much of the water column that you can. You can put some like weights, well, you can't really see them because they're off camera right now. Another thing to help you, I don't always use it, but sometimes, a planer. So planer, well, it's got a little weight. This one's actually, probably might have to get a new one. It's kind of crooked. Might not swim right, but planer, this connects to like your snap swivel. You can like hang it off the back, there's a thing, but I never did it that way. But pretty much it's just gonna, you're gonna have your snap swivel on here, and it's gonna connect to your line, and it's gonna hang. It's kind of hard to show it because it's upside down, but it's just gonna hang on your line, and because it's heavy, and obviously this pushing against the water, it's gonna make it dive down, and you don't have to worry about it on your line, because once like a fish like shakes it when it bites, it should, I don't think maybe like one time it hasn't, but it should just slide up like this, and then you just reel it straight up, like no resistance, you won't even feel it. But you probably want to use it on a little bit of a, especially if you get a bigger one, these will pull pretty hard on the rod. So you probably want to get probably one of the bigger rods that if you have. These birds, I like putting these on. I'll show you what other combinations I use, but pretty much this one's like a little plastic one. This one, I don't know what company that's from. This one obviously is a boon bird. And pretty much all it is it just goes through the water, and while it's going through the water, it goes like back and forth like this on top of the water, and these fins on it are kind of angled, so it just like makes a lot of splashing commotion in the water, which sometimes I think it'll piss fish off, and they'll come up and at least check it out, and then you'll have another bait behind it, and they'll see that and then grab that, hopefully. I mean, I guess you could put a hook on that if you wanted. I just put a snap swivel on it and just snap it on a snap swivel. You could just do like a regular swivel and just hook it on, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. One thing, I'll show it briefly, but once we're out on the boat, I'll show it. It's a lot easier to just show it than explain it, but I believe these are used for downriggers, and I've never used downriggers, I don't know, I get the idea and point of them, but to me it's just a lot of pain in the ass. But I believe this is a downrigger clip and you're used on it, and you can see kind of here the lines pinched into it. Basically, I use this as what's called a flat line clip that, well, you can see I have monofilament wrapped around it. Once again, I'll show it on the boat. That is just to keep a line closer to the water, which also helps in not having all your lines everywhere, which is the key to trolling. Like I said, you don't need outriggers and all this other stuff. You just take a couple of minutes and plan out which lure you're gonna put where, so when you turn, you don't have to worry about it ever tangling. All right, so then pretty much the only trolling lures I ever use, other than sometimes I'll throw out something random. These little guys, these are little mold crafts. I don't know the name of them, but they're really small ones. You can see like much smaller than my hand. This, I have no idea what company this is from, but same idea. I like the greens and reds and oranges, pinks, like that kind of stuff. Some blue whites. Blue white's a pretty solid color. I believe all fish enjoy that. But who even knows? I don't even think color really matters all that much, other than like however the silhouettes, where if a fish is down deep and the lure's up top and it's looking up into the sun, like darker colors like that, or lighter colors if it's not really sunny out. You can get all into that. I'll leave that for something else, because I mean it does matter, but that much, who knows. For me, mostly I think that matters. Like this one has a little bit of a chugger head kind of deal on it that makes more commotion in the water, and I think that matters a little bit more. And because if fish sees it, gets pissed off at it, runs up, bites it. So hopefully these I'll show where to run these. These are Moldcraft. I believe they're called super chuggers. I don't know. I know they come in a couple different sizes. I think 3 different sizes, which I think they make some that are smaller like this. Well, here you can kind of see it. Definitely a little bit of size difference. But I know they come in really big, and I don't know if this is the medium size or not, but this is prime dolphin killer lure. Like I run this lure probably like 20-30 feet off the back of the boat, just so it's still even in the white water, kind of like the wake. And if you go by a weed line like that, and dolphin, I've had really good luck with dolphin. Like this color is pretty good. I like the green. It used to be yellow, it kind of faded out, but they make them like this kind of pinkish color. I like the green and pink like that. I have this black orange one, still works good. But yeah, like I said, it has like this chugger head. I don't know if you can tell the kind of depth on it, but I'll show how this runs in the water, and you'll see pretty much it like comes up, takes a scoop of air and goes back under the water, and like disperses the bubbles, so it makes a lot of noise in the water when it's going through. So I think that makes the fish mad, and they're just like, hey, what's this? This is my favorite Moldcraft lure, this green, yellow, and pink. Love this. once again, same deal. Got a couple other colors of the greens, and I like that. And I'll show where to run this, where it always works. So I had to go buy a couple more lures. I think, is it just island lures? I believe that's how you just say it. And what is this one? The Outrider, I guess it would be called. I haven't used this one with, as you can see, well, let's open it. So as you can see, it's got a nice little metal head on it that adds some weight to it. And then blue white, that's my favorite color of these. But this one I have not tried yet. As you can hopefully see, it's got kind of a concave head on it. The ones that I'm used to, that I normally use, are the like this bigger size one, which hopefully you can tell there's a big size difference. It's got the bullet style head in it. Those I've used the most. But I'm going to give this one a try. If anything, it's probably just going to add some more bubbles to it. So I'm sure it's going to work exactly the same. But these great lures on ballyhoo. For one, it helps protect the head. Helps protect the ballyhoo that doesn't get as washed out as often as probably you'd say ballyhoo without a lure on it. But these are great. Caught sailfish, dolphin, tunas on it. Great lure to run. The bigger ones, you get some bigger size mullet. This Rattlejet, I've used them. I believe they always come rigged, but great lure. Yeah, as you can see, they come rigged. I usually cut the rigging and do my own rigging, which I'm sure their rigging is just fine, but I like having all my own stuff, and I know what's going on with everything. But pretty simple lure, really light. All you do, throw it in the water, works great. I've used it on ballyhoo. Also works great. I like the pink white colors. Guess it got some yellow in it. But once again, great lure. Throw it in the water. Pretty cheap lure. And oops, well, okay, we didn't see that. Great lure. You just throw it in. Works fantastic. It's got a little head on it. Makes a little bubble trail. These I'm trying out for the first time. What's the company? Squid Nation. I don't know if that's focused, if it's coming through or not. But haven't seen these before, but when I was talking to the guy at Grand Slam, which is my local tackle shop here, I've been going to them forever. If you're in the Jupiter area, and what, downtown West Palm? Blue Heron Boulevard, I believe, is the other store. Great tackle shop. Anyway, I was talking to the guy, I was looking at the mold crafts, and he was like, yo, try these out. They're, I guess Squid Nation's the company, but $8, 2 of them. Looks pretty similar to the Moldcraft lures that I love using. This is Moldcraft, and this is that Squid Nation thing. So I don't know. It's a little bit cheaper because I mean you get 2 of them for $8. But yeah, we'll give those a try. I'm down to try some new things. Next would be to show you all how to rig this lure for ballyhoo, this lure normally. Any lure for ballyhoo rigging, so let's get into that. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to rig offshore trolling lures. So probably a few different ways. Everyone has their own kind of style, I guess it would be, but basically all I do are 2 different methods, I guess it would be. So this type of lure, like I was saying before, is a Moldcraft lure. I just strictly use this for trolling and no bait or anything like that. Then the island lure I showed before, I use with ballyhoo or some kind of bait or something in there with it. So this you would rig differently, which I have a separate video of showing ballyhoo rigging and the setup rig for that, which I'll insert in this video. So right now I'm just going to show how to, I guess, normally rig a lure, I guess it would be called. I don't know if there's any certain name to it, but all you need, lure you're going to use. A hook, I usually like, well, you kind of think about what kind of fish you're going to be grabbing. So this is probably about a 7/0 hook. It's a little rusty. I need to buy some actually. I don't have any left to replace it, but I'll do that at another point. But this will serve perfectly because I'll buy the exact same hook. But it's probably about a 7/0 hook, maybe an 8/0, typically around there. You can use bigger if you want. That, and then I have these little, it's kind of hard to see it, but they're little like tri-beads. You know, I guess I got it at like an arts and crafts store or something, but I have a whole bag of these that I've had for like years and I've never gone through it. You can use any type of bead you want. Or if you want, you could also use a weight. It does the same thing, and like all the beads are doing for my purpose is when the hook's in here, the eye of the hook is usually going to go sit in here, and all the beads do. So it'd probably sit about there, and all the beads do is make it sit a little lower in there. Some people run it, they can run it like that. Some people will do a double hook. I always use one hook and just somewhere about there in the lure. Pretty sure it doesn't really affect how the lure swims at all. It's just what the person thinks will get the optimal bite, I guess, you know? But yeah, I typically like to let the lure sit around like there in the lure. I mean, like I said, you can let it sit lower, higher, however you think it looks good, and how you think it would look in the water if you were a fish and you wanted to eat a piece of plastic like that. So for leader, some 50-pound mono. I don't have 60. Typically a leader with this type, I do 50, 60. If it's a little more expensive lure along this like $20 damn lure, probably would go 80, maybe 100, but that's for like ballyhoo. For this lure, not as expensive, so if it does happen to lose it, wouldn't be the end of the world. But I mean, I don't know, 50 to 100, up to you. I'm doing 50, around there is pretty good. I usually do. I'm about 5'11", so I just hold one hand and pull it out to the other. So almost 6 foot leader. You can do it a little bit longer, Cut it. By the way, these are crimpers that you can use that you'll see in the ballyhoo rigging video. But you can also do this exact same rig with crimpers. I'm gonna tie it. I'm gonna show you 2 different knots, a loop knot and uni knot, all I ever use. But crimpers doesn't really change it at all. It'd be the exact same thing, except instead of knots, you're just crimping it. So, gonna, really awkward angle because I have the camera in between my legs and I'm trying to like work around the camera. I'm actually looking through the camera finder doing this. Okay, so just gonna take the tag end. Maybe I should have used high vis. You know what? I have some high vis line. I'll show the knots better with high vis so that you can probably see it. So I'm just putting it through. It's actually probably easier to take the middle inside skirt out. Through that one. Okay, so you got the line through the lure. Got 2 beads for me, wherever you want. You don't even have to put beads. You could put like a weight instead. It would do the exact same thing. And it would also probably keep the lure in the water a little bit. Maybe like an inch or 2 deeper in the water, depending on how heavy. Yeah, put the beads on there. And then, hook. Uni knot, extremely simple knot. Holds fantastic. And once you do it a couple times, you'll get the hang of it. Basically, you just put the line through the eye hook. See, tag ends right here. This, I guess we can call the main line on this side. All you're gonna do, see, tag end here in my right hand, and you're just gonna make a little loop. Pinch it, so you keep the loop. This, and you just go the tag end line, over the line, through the loop, over the line, through the loop, over the line, through the loop. I always do 3 times, you can do 4 times. And it makes a little loop like this, because I'm pinching the little tag end right here. This is the main line again. And you're just going to pull tag in like that, so it makes a little bit of a knot there. Come on, focus. You can see, slide it down a little bit. And you're just going to pull the main line and the hook. Okay. And it's just going to cinch down like that. And that should hold beautifully. Clip a little tag in. Okay. Your lure. Put the inside skirt back in there. Okay. Sure all the tentacles, whatever the hell it's called. Straight, cool. Oh, there you go. a beautifully rigged Moldcraft lure or whatever lure you're going to be using. Extremely simple. Just got to do it a couple times and get the hang of it. So, on the other end, now I basically pretty much only use snap swivels on all my rods when I'm trolling, so that you can just switch out lures very easily. So to do that, all you do, I mean, you can put a swivel, regular swivel on this end, tie it with a uni knot, clip it to the snap swivel, same thing. But I just like taking the line, kind of loop it, like a little loop, and then hold it together, make another loop like this. This hand I'm just holding the main line and the tag end at the loop, and you're going to take big loop, put it through the little loop twice. That's once, twice. It's going to look like this. Once again, I'm holding the tag end here, which would focus better. And the main line, you hold that, hold the loop part, pull it. It's kind of hard once it's small, but you'll just pull it down tighter. Alright, I think it's kind of focused, but you can see it's a little knot here, a nice little loop here. Trim the tag in, you can leave it. It doesn't really matter. I've seen people just not do it. It's hard to get it tight, but once you catch a fish or something, it'll tighten down. I don't think I've ever had that pull apart or break or whatever. So yeah, then you just clip this end into your snap swivel and throw the lure in and you're fishing. So usually I just take the line, like when you're storing it or something, you just kind of make a bunch of loops. Make some loops like that, and then just put this in and out of it, and I'll keep it looped. Sometimes if you get a couple lures together, it'll get all mixed up. You'll get a huge tangle, which I'll let you figure out how the hell to get that untangled, because I haven't figured that out yet, so have fun with that. So yes, I'm guessing now I'll insert the video that I've previously recorded showing how to rig a similar lure for ballyhoo. Crimpers, crimps. These are 100 to 130. I'm using 50-pound test mono for these. I usually use, but I mean you can use up to 100. It doesn't matter. 100, like I like 50, 60-pound. That's always good. These crimps will work for that though, because I got it to be like multi-purpose sorta. And then some wire. Like this is number 7 wire. I mean, it doesn't have to be really thick. You're just using it for one little piece, but a little heavier wire that it'll make pushing it through the ballyhoo a little bit easier. And some copper wire. I don't even know if it's coming through. A hook, which I'm going to use the hook from this one because I dropped the other hook off the dock. But I have no idea what size hook this is. It's probably like a 7/0 hook. But I usually like these with the long shank on them. I know some people do like the shorter shank hooks on them, but I always like these kind. And yeah, I think it's like a 7/0 must-head, I believe, if I remember correctly. But so yeah, so let's go rig these bad boys. All right, so let's start out with making the rig. So I'm gonna use this lure, this little Islander lure. It's pretty easy. Like I said, this is a 50-pound test. I usually just go like full arm's length, whatever. I'm like almost 6 foot, so that gets pretty good amount of leader. I mean, if you manage to hook a sailfish, it'll give you some leeway with the line won't get chafed and break like your main line deal. Alright, so you got your leader. Next you're going to take the wire and you're just going to clip off a piece. Doesn't have to be all that crazy long, but I make it a little longer than you should. You can always cut it off, but I made it like, how long? I don't even know. It's like a couple inches probably. I mean, it doesn't have to be crazy exact. It's not science right now, but alright, so you take the leader, take tag end of the leader. I think you can see this. And Just put it in the crimp. Then you get your hook. Put the hook through. It's pretty straightforward. This is where the smaller crimps for the size leader would make more sense, but it's alright. So I'm gonna crimp it just to keep it steady. But I'm not gonna go all the way. Yeah, so I crimped them just a little bit just to keep the line in there. So now you're gonna take that piece of wire you cut. You can see it, right? Yeah, it's like glare on the back of the camera screen, so I can't tell. So you're gonna take it, and you can see how the hook's hanging like this. You're gonna put the wire, and I'm gonna push it all the way through so it shows a little bit better. So it's like inside the crimp of the line with the line. You're gonna pull it back a little bit, and then it's kind of loose. I'm just gonna crimp it down now. We got that crimp down. The wire in pretty good. It's not sliding. I mean, it's alright if the wire slides. You just don't want the line sliding. So the rig is gonna look like that, and you're gonna bend the line, the piece of wire, like opposite the end of the hook. Kind of like that. So now it's sticking up at like a angle. I really hope it's coming out on the video because I can't see on the back of the screen. Like kind of like that. So pretty much you're gonna put the hook into the bait, and then you're gonna poke this up through the roof of through the bottom jaw and out the top jaw, and then you're gonna wrap it up with the copper wire. Next you're gonna take copper wire. I always just put it on the loop, and it's not anything all that important, just kind of wrap the copper around the mono and the loop, and just so it's like attached. Not cooperating. Of course, if you're not filming this, it goes a lot easier. But once you start trying to film something, alright, so that works. And don't need it that long. I kind of have, for some reason I have like a 5-pound spool of copper wire I think I got from my friend like years ago, so I have copper wire for like the rest of my life. And I mean, you can put the, I always just wait to put the lure on, but yeah, you get, okay, you guys, if you're rigging ballyhoo, please, please, please get better quality ballyhoo than this, because this is pretty bad. If you're in the store and you see a pack of ballyhoo and the ballyhoo look like this, go get another pack. But I don't know, I always like trying to rig all my own stuff. You can buy the like already pre-rigged stuff, which usually comes on wire, which I'm not too big of a fan of. I mean, if you're going after stuff with teeth, makes sense, then yeah. But I don't know, I always just like rigging stuff myself. So you're gonna take the hook, and it's kind of unfair. I like bend it just to loosen it up. You're gonna do this more once you go to put it in the water. But yeah, you take the hook, put it inside the gill. So pretty much it's gonna look like this, but inside the fish. So you're gonna try and figure out where the bottom of the hook, around like there. I'm just gonna kind of put it in. And it's pretty much, it's like going through the stomach. You can kind of bend the fish a little bit like this, and you can see the bottom of the hook point coming through. Bend the hook and pull it from the point. I mean, you could put it into like that, so it's like pretty well hidden if you want. And then you're gonna take the pointy end of this wire that you put in the crimp, and you're gonna go through. It's hard to show it. I think you can see it. It's like going through the bottom jaw here, and then it's gonna go out the top of the jaw. That. You're just gonna push it tight, and this one came out kind of bad, but it's all right. And then you're gonna take the copper wire, you're just gonna wrap it around. You wanna make sure the first couple are pretty tight, especially to make sure the jaws close, because like if the mouth opens up while you're trolling, it'll make it swim weird. And just do a few wraps. I do like a couple in front. I mean, the wraps aren't all that important. You just want to make sure the first couple are tight, and then you kind of, that's like way more copper wire than you actually need. So cut that. You don't need that much. It's just enough to hold it on for however long the bait will last. This would probably last like 2 seconds in the water because it's so mushy, but pretty much that's what it's going to look like. Because the bait isn't all that great, it kind of came out, you can see how it's like the head's kind of bent, which might make it swim weird, but I've gotten some pretty ugly baits to swim straight in the water. Like, so right now, if you just threw this in the water while you're trolling, it's probably gonna do like the spin, and it's gonna look absolutely not natural at all in the water. You want, the point of this here is to keep it as tight as you can, because you want the bait to like swim from the head while it's in the water, like, so that the head, and it makes the tail like it's alive. And once you're out in the water, I usually wait till, because it gets pretty messy. If you want to like kind of push down on the stomach and it back like this, kind of like squeeze out the guts and everything out the back, and kind of breaks the meat away from the bones and helps loosen it up. You can kind of break the backbone a little bit, but you just want to make sure the bait is as loose as possible. And one trick to help getting the bait swim right is sometimes it has to do with like the hook and this all being too tight. It already did it itself because the baits are pretty terrible quality. You take a knife and you just make a little cut here or in front of it usually, because you can see how like the baits or the skin's bunching up on the hook right there. You just cut in front of it a little bit, and that helps it loosen up. And yeah, you're just gonna have to mess with it when you're out there on the boat, because that's the only time you can see if it's going to be swimming correctly. And finish it off, you just take the lure, put the lure on the line, pull it down, and I usually break the bill off, beak off a little bit more. You don't really need all that much. It's just enough to wrap the copper around, and just pull it down, and it's going to look like that. Hard to show it right here, but yeah, I got the Islander, and then you can crimp the end if you want. I usually just tie it. All right, so what kind of area should you be looking for? Pretty much off of Florida. I'd say for offshore kind of trolling deal, anywhere over 100 feet of water. So the continental shelf, I mean, all different parts of Florida. I'm not too sure about up north Florida kind of. But that goes all along Florida, and as it goes south along Florida, it gets closer to shore. So, and probably like, I think like up north, they got to go like 50, 70 miles out to get anywhere to where it drops off deep. I'm not sure because I haven't fished up there. But as it comes down, like Stewart area is probably like 8 or 10 miles. Here in Jupiter, probably 6 or 7 miles. Palm Beach, like 5, 6 miles. Then I know down like Boca area and even Miami down there, it gets like only a couple miles offshore. So that's pretty much it. It's just a big drop off that goes all along the coast of Florida, and should be around like 100, 120 feet, that kind of area. And it should drop off considerably from 100 something feet, well over 200, 300 feet. And that's a good area to look, go up and down it. Like if you're targeting wahoo, I think eventually I'm gonna make a wahoo trolling kind of video explaining that, which would be better suited for that. But that's a good area because the current will push the water against it, against the rocks or the shelf, and push that water up, and that'll create like a kind of like turbulent thing, all kinds of weeds, boards, trees, tree limbs, anything floating around can get caught up in that, and it'll usually stay in that area. So when you're going out, typically you'll see kind of like, looks like, well, you can see the movement of the water different than other standing water that's around, though it is moving, but this water is moving a lot faster. You'll see that. This is a good area to start out. Sometimes you'll see some weeds and stuff, but also probably not, because more so I'd say people have already fished this. Unless you're out there before sunrise, then maybe you could pick up some fish on like dolphin, wahoo, some tunas maybe around, but more than likely someone's already been there before you. So I'd say keep on going, and for trolling, just go and stop until you see a pack of birds or anything. You see like a lot of flying fish, maybe some fish jumping, busting on the flying fish, stop, troll there. Go until you find a weed line. That's a pretty common thing to do. And I mean, it can be a nice weed line 6 miles off and like 200, 300 feet of water, pick up a bunch of dolphin, or you won't see anything till 10, 20, 30 miles off. Those are, I'd probably say would be better off, because once again, people probably aren't that far out. And if there are, there's only a couple of people. By a couple of people here in Florida, that could be 50, 60 boats. So there's a lot of people out there. So you want to get out early, and you pretty much just want to look for anything floating, anything, and on the bottom, if you have a chart at all or anything, just look for any kind of big rock formations, like a canyon, or I guess it would just be an underwater mountain where it comes up and goes back down, and like any kind of bottom structure, anything like that, well offshore, like a few hundred feet of water, it'd probably be a good spot, because that should create some different water movement where bait gets trapped into it, then more fish are coming to eat the bait fish, and then bigger fish, and then bigger fish, so on and so on. Because for the most part, the ocean is a desert, and fish want to live by protection, so you got to go find whatever kind of structures are out there. And that's probably what I'd say to recommend to go. Just go out. I mean, you'll find birds, seaweed, boards, trees, anything floating, buckets. I mean, who knows what you can find out there floating. Troll by it, try all these different lures. So I wasn't able to get offshore, because I've been looking at the forecast, and it's saying it's like 6, 8 foot, some 4-footers. It's a big space again, so I'm pretty sure it would have been swells anyway, but it's showing north wind, and north wind around here isn't the best wind, so I'm assuming the Gulf Stream, to actually get out there and show you how to set up all the lines and everything correctly, I'm pretty sure it's not nice out there. So I'm here inshore, as you can see. We got a little bit of open area here. This is the only place I think I could actually have enough space to do this in calm weather. But you guys better like this video. You should see some of the looks. These people I'm driving by with boats, I got 50 wides and 20s and all this trolling gear, and I'm like 6 miles inshore. But yeah, whatever, I'm doing this for you. So I don't care what these people think. All right, so hopefully this is synced up correctly. So normally you'd be offshore trolling. My boat's just barely in gear. So I'm gonna do this slowly and then pick up speed. So what you probably wanna put out first is your deepest bait, which kind of just threw this on there. And normally I'd probably use the biggest rod for the deeper bait, but I'm just gonna let this guy out a little bit. I think it's pretty much 3 or 4 feet deep here, so I'm not gonna put this out too far. So you got this guy out there, and then once again, you'd probably want a diving lure or whatever lure, heavier so it sinks deeper into the water while you're moving, and also a bigger lip on it so it dives down deeper, which this lure is perfect for here because it's really shallow water. So usually, plus a shorter rod would be a little bit easier for this. So I like, people use different kinds of clips and stuff. I've seen people use kite clips. Like I said before earlier, I believe this goes on a downrigger, but I just tie a piece of monofilament to it, and then a couple feet of mono, and I just put the loop knot on the end, and I put it around the cleat, wrap it around a couple of times, and then hopefully a fish doesn't bite this while
this lure could catch a fish in here. It's probably the only lure that I have out right now that can catch a fish. But yeah, you take a clip, put it on. You don't want it like too hard, but enough so it doesn't slip out or anything. Clip, pinch it down. So then it's like that, and you let out a little bit more line, like that, and you're fishing. So now what this does is kind of keep the line out of the way. You don't really want to turn it all while you're putting out lines. And that's pretty much the key part to trolling. Like, you don't, like I say, you don't need all these outriggers and all this fancy crap to get lines out and put a decent spread. It's all about where you're placing your baits. So we got one line out. Now this is the Moldcraft lure I talk about. This is definitely my favorite dolphin lure ever. And like I said, I don't like putting it out far at all. Because like all it's gonna do is gonna pull, and then it's gonna come up to get some air like that. You can kind of see I'm not moving the rod. It just does that by itself. So like it's like a chugger head, so it's gonna like, this is like pulling really hard on it, but I like it. I think once you get it going faster, you'll see it better. And like I said, what is this? Probably right there. I don't know, is this like 20, 30 feet, 40 feet maybe? 30 feet? Try and put it right about there. But we'll see once I go faster if that's how, but I like it to be in the bubbles and the wake coming off the boat, because I feel like this lure pisses fish off and they come up and see what it is. So here, now it's 2 lines out, we'll do 3. This is the same Moldcraft lure, but this could be the ballyhoo. I didn't bring any rigged ballyhoo because I didn't want to get everything all fishy and stuff. Make something different, we'll put so I just got a snap swivel on this bird thing. Don't really have to, but put this out. All you do with this, yeah, 50 wide inshore, but you probably wouldn't have this red line on it. This is a wind-on leader. Like I said, I use this mostly for sword fishing. And just want to put it out. Well, you can see the bird on there. It'll look different. If I reel it a little bit, you can kind of see how it like spits up the water and stuff. I think it just gives the lure a little bit of action. Fish are just like, what in the hell is that? He comes and checks it out. But I like having the bird on a ballyhoo, not just a lure. I think kind of a few sailfish with doing like that. Of course, dolphin, like blackfin, whatever. We'll put this one out. So like I said, the key, you want to stagger the baits. So like we got this one 20, 30 feet off the back. This one we'll put, where you at? Back there, it's definitely way past this one, so that's probably good. And then this one should be down deep, but it might not be because it's not really a deep plug, so it could potentially tangle. So now we're going straight. And as you can see, we got one lure there, one lure there. So when we turn, all the lines will come together, but since they're at different lengths out, they should be like lined up kind of like that, and then once you straighten out again, they'll come back out to the sides. So, I mean, outriggers do that for you, but I mean, it just gives you more space to work with. So then you can run like 6, 7 people do, I don't know about that, but if I wanted to put a 4th line out, put it right here, same spot, and put it back further than that one. Some people, I think it's called shotgun bait, like you put it way back, like you put like half a spool out if you want or something. Just like, I never do that because I don't want to reel that in. Yeah, let's kick it up, go a little faster. We got a Florida Bro paddle boarder up there. Let's see how the things look at. We'll try it almost 1500 exact if we can get it. All right, so 1500. That's a little quick. Also, you got to take into account, like here in Florida, we have the Gulf Stream, which is usually like, what, like a 2 or 3 knot, 4 knot, sometime 5 knot current. So if you're going north, you're going with the current, so you're going to go a little bit faster than like we'd be going faster. And if you're going against it, you'd have to So you'd go slower going with the current, with the engine, but faster going against the current. But also that will put more stress on your baits, so like ballyhoo and stuff might not swim right, and they'll wash out a lot faster because the current going against your baits plus you pulling, like just going against each other, put a lot of stress on the baits. So as you can see, the bird is out there just fluttering along. This guy is looking good. I just like that lure in the bubbles. What's going on? But yeah, I like that lure, that right there. This guy's still staying down, and we got some fishing. Hi. That's a sick boat. Is that? What? It's the yellowfin, clearly. That can't be, that looks way bigger than 36. Did they make a 43 or something? I don't know. That's a badass boat. Good catfish bite today, guys. And yeah, this is pretty much it, all you do. So let's see if we can actually do this. So we're gonna turn. And what you wanna do is wide turns whenever you do turn. Okay, good so far, I think. That's like another major key part of it is wide turns, which I might not be able to do here because there's kind of land, but if you're offshore, there's no land around. But I mean, look, we're inshore. Look, can you see that right there? There's a weed line. Catch some dolphin. Or however those people from up north say it. I'm kidding. I love you people from up north. So far so good. You can see this lure, I mean, plus it's really close to the boat, so you don't really have to worry about it that much. But if I had another line out, it would have been back further. And like I said, the lure's kind of like here, you can see they're kind of lined up right now, but give it a minute or two, and they'll come back to where they were before. Hopefully, you can try not to get the bimini top in there. Okay, you can kind of see it's starting to move back to where. I was gonna say, if we just hooked a fish on the TF, that's a piece of seaweed, but that would have been hilarious. I was like, let's see what I mean? Seaweed, weed line, here in 7 feet of water. So yeah, that's all it really is. I mean, I think it's simple, but once you do it a few times, you get used to it, then you'll start seeing, and plus, try different speeds, try different lures, use whatever lure you think will catch fish. Personally, I think these are great lures to catch fish, all the ones that I mentioned, and go try something out. Try to put more deep baits, put more baits on top, just do whatever. You gotta find something that's working. And if like these lures weren't working right now, we're out offshore, I'd switch it up, put something else out. So yeah, that's offshore trolling. So I guess that's it. So hopefully by now you understand how to offshore troll, specifically kind of off Florida, but this should work anywhere that there are fish, and as long as you match the type of lures that are being used in your area, should work perfectly fine. So let me know in the comments how helpful you found this video. If I missed anything, tell me about it. If you have any questions, ask me about it. And I'll put a bunch of links to some of the lures that I use and their websites. Also, Twitter is kind of easier to answer questions because sometimes for some reason the YouTube comments don't work out all that well, where I'll try and reply and take like 15 minutes to reply for some reason, or I'll get an email saying someone left a comment, be able to read it, and then it just won't be there. I guess they delete it. It's been happening a lot lately, so Twitter's a little bit safer bet. I'll also be reading the comments. And if you ever want to get kind of a little idea of when I'm going to be uploading a video, my Instagram, I'll usually put up a picture or something that I'm fishing, and you can probably expect a video within the next couple of days. So hopefully this helped you out. Please feel free to subscribe and let me know.